Here's a player who could not be here today if it weren't for LG Cinema 3D, Intel, and G-Skill. He is our Zerg player, trying to close things out. Played well in game 1.
Zenio.
In game 2, actually. Though he lost it. Not looking too happy there. He looked a little bit,
Yeah, it's almost like his eye was giving you the glare.
Yeah. Here's our Protoss player.
You always do that, Moltrap. You always like start talking about something and then I just completely forget the other player's intro. Jeez. I'm blaming all this on you, Moltrap.
I was like on the edge of my seat there. I was like, oh, he's responding to what I said, but is he gonna finish in time for me to squeeze something in? Tried to do it. It's all right.
It's your fault. The intros are your responsibility, Moltrap. We decided this at the beginning.
Sorry.
You're breaking our contract. We don't actually have a contract with each other. We should. Friendship contract.
It's what I get for I screwed up a few of Doa's intros. 4-gate for wins. Nuclear launch detected.
Andy Al, Woo Curtin, SSG. It looks like I said SSG.
That'd be cool if we see some nukes later on. We've got some more Terran players coming
We do.
Up. And so we see that Zenio is going to go ahead and take a pretty quick expansion on 15. Whereas Choya has opted to get a gateway first at his ramp, try and wall that off. It's an interesting map. You've got those rocks that are part of your ramp. They cover part of your ramp, so you can kind of wall off, but then if they kill the rocks, you need even more of a wall for the other half of that ramp, depending on what the situation is.
It's an interesting dynamic, and I really like it.
Yeah. Zenio getting gassed and pool afterwards, so he's going to go into speed links more than likely here.
Yeah, and pretty much the thing about this map is if you're a Protoss player playing against a Zerg here, you can almost assume that your opponent is going to go for hatchery first. So, of course, Choya, assuming that, most likely went for a Nexus first.
Yep, 1 gate into Nexus.
Oh, he actually made that game.
Yeah, but he scouted the early hatchery, and then once he saw that, he's like, all right, screw the Cybercore, I'm going to get a Nexus first.
It's like today's opposite day of Moltrap. We're just saying all the wrong things, making all the wrong jokes. Yeah, I know exactly what you said.
That was a really clever joke backwards.
I know, I won't tell anyone what you said. It's pretty funny. But they'll have to watch the stream backwards to hear it.
You know what song is really good backwards?
No, I don't usually listen. I usually listen to my music in the correct direction.
Oh, okay. Would you like to know what song is really good backwards?
I would like to know.
The song Istanbul by They Might Be Giants.
Oh, really?
Nazi. That's how it starts. For some reason, a friend of mine reversed that song and put it on a cassette tape. I'm that old that we listened to cassette tapes in high school, but we would listen to cassette tapes in this car when we drove around, and we'd listen to Istanbul backwards. So there was a time when I had like half the song memorized backwards. But regardless, Warp Gate Tech is starting up for Choya, and he's just getting his second base up.
Yeah?
Sorry.
Just thinking about, I was like,
you're like, that was
tapes?
so random, I have nothing to say to that.
Well, cassette tapes, you know, I listened to those when I was younger, but I know you're much more elderly than I am.
Oh, wow. You're like, you're much, and I was like,
how's a nice
and
way
you
to say
paused, and I'm like, oh, like he realized he was about to insult me by calling me old, so he held back, and you're like, more elderly. I'm like, that's even worse.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to say something that was nice, Moltrap. Like, elderly sounds respectful, right?
You could have said like, oh, you have much more like experience with various forms of technology that I don't.
That's what I should have said. I'm sorry. I'll have to write that in our new friend contract. Now, Choya is actually moving out with a few units as well as a probe, and has added 3 more gateways, so he's up to 4 gates now. And a lot of you guys don't know this, but basically,
goodness gateness.
4 gates is all you can support on 2 bases. The reason 6 gates are good off of 2 bases is because you don't spend a lot of money while those gateways are warping in, and suddenly they finish, and then you warp in a ton of units with those 6 gates, and you can't actually support them. Same is true of 4 gates off of 1 base. So Choya is actually going to make me a liar and add an additional gate, but he's going up to 5 gates here. And I thought maybe he was just going to put on some pressure and not actually go. And again, losing to 2 Zealots and a Stalker. Well, he's going to lose a Stalker at the very least. Yeah. The Zealots may survive. Doesn't look like it's hard to tell how many Zerglings are hiding behind.
No, there's plenty of Zerglings there. Well, actually, not plenty, just barely. That lasted a lot better than I thought. He actually was in a lot better position that time than he was last game when he caught off guard.
Zenio has all 4 Zelnaga watchtowers, so he has vision of the entire middle of the map.
And Overlords around the map. So Zenio's really in good shape here. He's going to run in with...
Oh, the probe! Oh, we missed it on my screen. I saw the probe that Zenio was trying to make. A pylon was spotted and killed, and the pylon in the middle of the map just now spotted. Warp gates are warping in the middle of the map. There it is. Finally got a shot of it. That pylon just barely survived.
Well, the Overlord did get in and saw more of the gateways going up in the background, so he knows that there's 5 gateways there, and might even think that there might be more. Yeah, these Zealots, I'm not sure exactly what he's up to with warping in these random Zealots over at the other side of the map. But he is going to pressure those Zerglings and maybe able to pressure the Zerg. Probably into making some Roaches. Yes, Roach is going up, but Dark Shrine is on the way.
Now Zenio is going to have a lair. Now I'm not entirely sure what the plan is with this Dark Shrine. Looks like these Zealots are going to go ahead and attack here. Looks like he's not going to be able to save that pylon, but he may be able to target down this hatchery. Yeah,
he might just target it down because Zenio doesn't have any forces right now.
Yeah, he's got a few Roaches on the way, but they're not going to be there in time. Looks like those 2 Zealots on the edge might buy enough time for the hatchery to go down. Now he's just going to run these Zealots away. Actually, he's got so many Zealots, he may just try to catch these units off guard. They're off creep.
Oh no, he's going to kill the Queen. And the Roaches aren't kiting very well, so he might lose 1 or 2. Yeah, he's kiting horribly. He's actually not kiting with those Roaches at all. So he loses a couple Roaches. He could have saved them all if he wanted to.
The key is he lost that pylon. So he no longer has that pylon to warp in the DTs as close as he wants them. And that's really crucial. Dark Shrine is almost finishing. I was hoping that maybe he was going to save 5 DTs. So you have 5 DTs. You could kill a lair in the time it takes to morph an Overseer. So he could just go and target down the lair. Not entirely sure what his plan is going to be now. He's not canceling the Shrine. He still wants to use maybe get some map control. He may try to target down the hatchery again.
And looks like Zenio's putting on some counter pressure. He's running those Roaches that he made across the map while his Zerglings kill the rocks. So he might try and... I don't know if it's going to be wise to, but he might... Okay, never mind. He's turning around, but I thought he might like run up the ramp and try and take it out. But those DTs are now running across the map. I think Zenio suspects, because he's running his forces back now to his main. He's running his Roaches back. Is he morphing an Overseer? He is not.
No, he's not. I think when he saw, basically, he's like, oh, you didn't take your 3rd base. I should play a little bit more defensively. And now the DTs are coming in. He still doesn't notice them yet.
Wow, he's going to get so many kills.
Oh, man, there's so many drones to kill. He's actually splitting them. 1 going into the natural, or the backdoor expansion. 1 going into the main. Starting to rack up the kills.
How fast is Zenio going to see this? He burrows his Queen at the main, which is kind of funny looking, and is running his drones, but not very well. They're actually stopped. Roach is coming in, and he's losing so many drones. He's not really microing his drones very well at all. Overseer does come in.
Meanwhile, Blink Stalkers have moved through the middle of the map. He could try to snipe some Overseers with those Blink Stalkers. He has to be very careful about it. It's not something I advise, but it is something that you can get away with sometimes. There's only 1 Overseer right now. That pylon's going to go up. If he snipes the Overseer and warps him around to DTs, that could be very deadly.
And here comes those Roaches, though, to try and push things back. But he warps another round of Stalkers at the top of the ramp. And
remember, Zenio has burrows, so he has to be very careful how he engages this.
True, not as many force fields, only a couple sentries there. So he's actually engaging full on. And Blink Micro, he burrows right down. And Zenio walks right on top of those Roaches.
Not entirely sure why he's walking on top of the Roaches. I don't think he has enough. Some of the Stalkers getting isolated, being taken out very quickly. Even a Hydralisk joining in on the battle. But choya warping in more units. It's going to be a close battle. Drones coming off the line.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle of production, but I think that Zenio is going to have more production. Plus, with those Roaches burrowing to stay out of battle, he's probably going to be able to take out these Stalkers. He doesn't really have anywhere to blink to because he doesn't have any force fields to throw up. A lot of Roaches going down, though. It may just be too many reinforcements for Zenio, however.
The Overseer is still alive. Could have maybe warped in some DTs, but decided not to. And man, looks like Zenio is going to hold this off just barely. A few more Roaches do come out. Not using his burrow as much as he could be. Maybe he suspects that there's an observer. Oh, there is an observer. Didn't even catch that one, Moletrap. I told you it's opposite day.
Well, it is invisible after all.
It is invisible.
Yeah, that would have been nice to like snipe the Overseer warp in DTs, but he's going to go for this 3rd base instead. While Zenio is trying to get enough Roaches to deal with this, and it looks like those 5 gateways really making it so he does have enough firepower to hold back those Roaches. He's actually going to take out a lot of Roaches. He might need a burrow right now. A lot of them in low health. Is he going to let those Roaches die?
Yeah, he's focus firing way too much. It's what I like to call over-microing, giving away way too many free shots on those Stalkers. And now the Stalkers can almost go clean up those Roaches for free. So low on health. It looks like Zenio's dead, man. I actually thought he was going to hold it.
Yeah, he lost a lot of roaches there. He probably should have burrowed, let him heal up, and then brought in more. Sacked the hatchery since it's going to die anyway. And another round of Stalkers warping in. At the very least, he's going to lose that expansion base. And it's too late. He's going to be able to fight off these... No, never mind. The Stalkers blink back to the rest of the army.
Neither player engaging this just right. I feel like both players may be a little bit weird, a little bit stressed. Yeah,
and that's kind of been the story of this whole match, but choya in a really good position right now. Is going to shake down those rocks. And Zenio lost hatchery, so he lost a lot of drones as well. I don't know why he fought with drones. That was really strange. So he is really low on drone count right now and just doesn't have the production.
Yeah, he just has no money in the bank. In fact, if you look at the minerals on the top right, you can see Choya's got like 1,000 in the bank, whereas Zenio is just struggling to make roach after roach.
Yeah, actually he has 27 drones right now. That is really bad. He's not even able to use his 2 bases, and choya is going to withdraw for some reason. Well,
he brought in a DT.
Got some low health Stalkers.
And I think that this might be the end. The DT comes forward doing tons of DPS. The Queen's trying to transfuse some of those roaches. There are just too many Stalkers for choya. Even the Zealots running in, tanking a ton of damage.
Everything's just doing so much damage. Choya just is overpowering him with his production right now. He's just got too big of an economy. Zenio has lost so much econ. He cannot put off enough roaches. The DT going to work on those roaches as well. Can't even burrow with the observer there. And we're going to see GG any moment. Unfortunately, if I had to pick earlier, I would have said that Zenio was the favorite to take this match with choya not playing well recently, but Zenio is going to be eliminated from the Super Tournament in the round of 64. choya, the coach of Foyu, is going to lead his team on to the round of 32. GG coming from Zenio. choya is now able to exit his booth and talk to not just himself triumphantly. He is so happy. Look at that guy. Let's get a shot of choya. Well, maybe we can. There he is, giving his teammate SC a high five, and he's like, tag team, you're it. Giving Leenock a high five as well. He is so thrilled. That was an awesome, awesome series. That was a lot better than I even expected, even though I expected it to be good.
Gave SC his jacket. So,
oh, is that what happened there?
Yeah, he just gave him his jacket, so maybe SC is going to go in there and have the same sort of success.
That is right, man.
Foyu's got a lot of different colored jackets. I wonder if the blue one means coach, and he's just like, SC, you can wear my coach's jacket because I'm so excited.
Maybe. That was a pretty good series, man.
Yeah,
nice.
I got to say,
Protoss. Like you said earlier, like you're going to say right now.
Well, I got to say, that attack went so differently than I expected. He made the DTs, they did a little bit of damage, not that much damage, and he just kind of seized Zenio's confusion. He moved the Blink Stalkers out in the middle of the map during all of that, and he just made a lot of them, and Zenio was like, something like, how do you have that much stuff? And then I can't really hold it, and then he was a little bit indecisive about his burrow micro. The Observer did show up somewhere in the middle of that fight, and I was really surprised he was able to crank that out with all the gas he was spending on the Stalkers, the Blink research, the DTs. I was like, how does he even have an Observer? You guys, I know some trolls on the internet are like, well, if you didn't see the Observer, you're such a noob caster. I'm like, I didn't expect him to have a Robo, because I was watching that fight the entire time. He was doing so many different things.
Yeah, and he actually didn't have his Observer in the right place sometimes anyway, so it's okay. But yeah, that was definitely different than I expected as well. And I didn't realize how low of a drone count Zenio had. That when he lost 6 or 7 to those DTs, that actually put him really, really bad off. And then, like, he's like, oh, I'm almost out of roaches. I'm going to burrow the roaches and attack with 10 drones.
Yeah, that was really weird. I didn't
And then,
fully
like, go in with, like, 5 roaches instead. So he lost, like, another 10 drones. Like I said, I didn't realize till the end of the fight that he had, like, 30 drones total.
Yeah.
And which is not enough off 2 bases.
At one point, he actually, he burrowed the Queen and his drones in the main, and then didn't burrow the other drones. It's like, what's wrong with those drones? You don't like those drones as much? Why didn't he burrow those?
Yeah, and he, like, moved them off. He's like, I'm going to move them away. He, like, moved them off, but then, like, just 5 feet so they could die again.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to have some more StarCraft 2 action here in about 2 minutes. Do not go away. We'll be right back.